Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, excuse my camera. I got to use another camera because my other camera was acting up. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about Joe Biden and his whole debacle of his administration, calling him out that he's not fit to run for office. Also, we learned last week that Joe Biden and his campaign sent some questions in after a debate interview or post a debate interview, and they sent some pre questions in, and they had to get them approved. Blah 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 blah. And coming to find out, they fired that host the radio host that actually exposed that information, saying that she did receive some questions from Joe Biden in his campaign. So they fired her because her radio station said this is not independent journalism. We garnered the trust of their viewership, saying that, hey, this is not right. This is you're trying to lead the audience in a particular way, and we do not agree with this. So we'll discuss that today. Also, we got information that I wanted to discuss about Tiffany Henyard. It looks like the village of Dolton is on the verge of bankrupt because of these lawsuits. Last week, we did talk about how the village of Dolton, they had $440,000 being withheld at the bank. And this is because some lawsuits that they were supposed to settle on, and they have not received the payment. So the courts decided to put a hold on their checking account. And it's a whole bunch of other stuff going on in Dolton, so we're going to discuss that. And we got Chicago to discuss too. Chicago had a busy weekend, so that's all on today's episode. So you guys stay tuned.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Bridget Holman in the building from Fort Wayne. It's all good to see you. Kennard the DJ, what is good? I believe he's viewing from Chicago. Happy Monday. What's the word? Theta Young, good morning. Hope all are having a blessed day. I hope you are having a blessed day as well, Theta. Wanda Diaz, hello everyone. Kenya Brown from Charleston, South Carolina, what is good? Anthony Hood, what up, though? From 313. It's always good to have our my home people in the building. Dead old Matt from Greenville, South Carolina. Good luck, Dolton and Thornton Township. Vote Republican, Trump 2024. That is what is up. Lexi is always in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, Lexi. Carolyn Cruz. Lexi tuning in from Rhode Island. Wanda is tuning in for Savannah, Georgia. We have the Warrior from Nashville, Tennessee. Haley Daly from Chicago, Illinois. And we have James Howard from Sacramento, California. Anger Mismanagement, I believe. Anger Mismanagement. I can't see the full name, but I believe that is from Gary, Indiana. You guys, let me know if you like the chatty thing coming in on the screen on the side. Just decided to do something new. And since my camera is not working, we'll always see this smiley face on the on the bottom left-hand corner. You're not going to be able to hear me. This is the ghetto business talk show right now because I can't get my camera to work. Kevin Walker, what is good? He's tuning in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let me show you what they have on Chicago. Let me just share the screen with you. It's very interesting to see Chicago going through it because you have Brandon Johnson. He's always touting that he has the blackest administration ever. I don't think it's nothing wrong to say, hey, I had the blackest administration ever. However, I do feel some type of way when you're claiming that you have the blackest administration ever and you are not doing the job. Don't claim to be black if you ain't doing the right job. Come on now. You making us look bad. So he's saying, "Oh, I had the blackest administration ever," and however, he's running the city of Chicago into the ground. You guys, just a second. I hear mine. Just a second. Let me. Cannon and Chase. Y'all need to pipe down. I hear you all the way down here. And I have my door open so I can hear you. So you're supposed to be doing your reading and your summer bridge. This is what you go through when you have kids at home. Sandra Davis, thank you for tuning in from South Suburban. Okay, so like I said, Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's touting that he has the blackest administration ever. However, some reports, these are some reports that just came in on the news feed. Chicago reels from the violent holiday weekend. More than 100 shot, 19 fatally injured, 19 killed, 86 wounded. Chicago shootings, 109 shot, 19 fatally wounded. A citywide holiday weekend of gun violence, and it's saying CPD, Mayor Johnson to provide update after the violent 4th July holiday weekend. This was NBC 32 Chicago News. What are they going to say? Don't know. We don't know what they're going to talk about. But they're talking about Brandon Johnson will provide a joint update Monday morning after at least 19 people were killed and at least 87 was wounded in the city of Chicago over extent 4th of July to 4th weekend. And by the end of Friday, the tally of shootings, 6 people shot Thursday, 62 shot Friday, 12 killed over both days, surpassed the numbers for last year's entire holiday weekend. You're breaking records, but they're in the wrong direction, Mayor Brandon Johnson. People were killed and 62 wounded over the holiday weekend, which stretched over the 4 days, July the 1st through the 4th. It's very troubling to see that Mayor Brandon Johnson is touting. We already talked about he spent $30,000 on his hair care and facial care with his administration. You got to look good for camera, but this should be going out your own budget. It shouldn't come out the campaign's budget or whatever kind of budget you're taking it from. But yeah, he spent $30,000 on hair and makeup. Can you just imagine a guy with no hair spending $30,000 on hair and makeup? And you have a city that is struggling because of your immigration policies. You're shutting down services that, your people need. And all the while you're saying you were going to defund the police, not per se, but we're going to take that shot finder system away because they're saying they haven't reaped any benefits from the shot getter system. But then you have every hot weekend, you have crap like this happening. 109 people shot. Mayor Brandon Johnson said in a statement Friday that the Chicago Police Department will deploy officers whose days off from the holiday weekend were previously canceled, aiming to maximize presence and ensure prompt incident response. We are devastated by the recent violence that has left our city in a state of grief, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and communities impacted by the recent events. We are tired of hearing that. I don't know if you guys have been a victim of gun violence, but I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing that same old crap. Oh, we send our deepest condolences. No, can you help me out by actually finding finding the person that committed this heinous act and actually prosecuting them, holding them accountable. If it's a teenager, they should start holding these parents accountable. You don't know where your kid, 12, 13, 14 kid is, hold the parents, find their parents' asses and lock them up. I totally agree with that. You guys might be, oh, well, it's not the parent fault. If my 12-year-old is running around killing people, I will feel some type of way, because if I will feel like I didn't do my job as a parent. Sorry, I keep on looking at this camera, but it's this camera. But I will feel some type of way. I will feel some type of way. And it's unfortunately, Brandon Johnson keeps on saying the same rhetoric. We send our deepest condolences. No, Brandon, you need to fix this. And it's totally not all Brandon's fault. We do have some cultural responsibilities. We're not raising our kids to respect the law, respect other people, respect life. We kind of we're raising children without any morals, any moral compass. So I can't just lay it on the feet of Brandon Johnson. But after they commit the crime, it's your fault, Brandon Johnson. If you don't find these people and you don't convict them, it is your fault. It is your fault. Also, you guys, I don't know if you've noticed in the chat, if you're getting all caps emails or all caps, Streamline will say refrain to doing all caps because it will come out as spam. So please don't do that. I'm trying. This is a new chatbot system that I'm trying. So you guys, let me know how you feel about it. I'm just trying to streamline the process for this, especially Dan. Don't moderators. If you see spam content, you need to kick that person out, put them in timeout. Stop doing that. Whoever's doing that. Anywho, so you guys put it in the chat. Let me know what you think about Chicago's situation. And get noticed with Nikki. A lot of these crimes are immigrants, according to some sources. However, the media will not report that. Exactly. They had this one guy on the hood of and this was in Chicago, and he ended up committing a crime, doing some type of violent act. Coming to find out, it was a damn illegal immigrant. The police was out there trying to surround him, and then they tried to arrest him, but it was other illegal immigrants. They were trying to fight the police. They want to come over here and be able to do the crime and want to fight the police. And they want to get away with it. But we set the bar, you guys. We set the bar. If we don't prosecute these people, and we're saying, oh, we're going to be soft on crime, and we're just going to let people just violently wreak havoc across the nation and not prosecute and not hold anybody accountable. Of course, Venezuelans, Cubans, Haitians, wherever all illegal immigrants, where they coming over here and they saying, oh, they let their people do it. We got a chance. They'll never catch up because we're undocumented. They don't got no paperwork on us. The people in the United States that's legal, they have paperwork on them. The legal people, we have paperwork on them. We either got a social security number, birth certificate. We'll be able to find them if we look. But illegal immigrants, we don't even know they exist. They came over here. They snuck under the border. Okay. They went on the train under the border. They floated in this canal or ravine and got over here across some way, but they didn't come through the border. They came through somewhere else. So Chicago, Michael Turner is right. Chicago needs new leadership. Chicago and Chicago Southland. Chicago and Chicago Southland needs a new leadership. They're going through some things in Chicago Southland. We talk about Tiffany Henyard all the time. Tiffany Henyard, I was told that someone lost their life in Dolton, Illinois, and they failed to recognize that somebody actually was killed. They went as business as usual. Who killed this individual? We don't know, because they never talked about it. In a small town where it shouldn't be normal for a person to lose their life, but they didn't talk about it. Anyway, so let's get to our next story. Our next story, this is just Dolton, Illinois. We talked about Tiffany Henyard. We talk about Tiffany Henyard all the time. It's really sad that Tiffany Henyard, she went throughout the weekend praising this 4th of July event. Okay. She had so much fun. She didn't really show how many people was out. It looked about maybe 20 to 30 people. It looked like my 4th of July party. We had a 4th of July party at our house. We had about 30 people at our house. So she had spent all this money, and they had about 10 kids and 30 people. Okay, this is her, and she's trying to act like she did big for the community. And of course, she showed this one shot where the bubbles were coming out. Okay. So I've been your mayor since 2021. You not being safe, number one. You're putting bubbles on concrete. How safe is that? Kids jumping on bubbles on concrete. That is the most stupidest thing I ever heard. Why didn't you put it on the grass? I'm not for sure. Because she didn't have permission to use the park. So she went to the parking lot. This is allegedly. She didn't have permission to use the park. So she put it on the park's parking lot. Also, somebody taped the audio, and I'm assuming that it was somebody from Tiffany's that she called. They taped the audio saying that Tiffany wanted to use I guess an area parking lot next to a building, and she didn't have permission to do that. And this was the school board building. She didn't have permission to do that, and she tried to, I guess, threaten and call the lady silly because she didn't have permission to use the building. Well, who's the silly one, Tiffany? You sound retarded. Right now, you sound really ridiculous because the lady won't let you use the park. All right, go ahead. This is the lady that she called. Okay, let me just. Gina. Hey, I've been trying to reach you all day. I can't stress this enough, people. Stop doing this. Stop it with the madness. Sometimes my sister do this. You call me and you got the music blaring. What kind of conversation you think we gonna have? I think that's the most ghettoish shit I ever seen. You the mayor, and you talking about whatever that song is. I don't know what the song is, but it's, you know what I'm saying. You got that music blaring, and you trying to have an important conversation about I can't use your park or your space because I want to do fireworks. We got all these people out. She said we got 1,000 people out. Why you lying? But why do you have the music blaring? Turn it down. Can you hear me? Yeah, I've been calling you. What's up? Why we couldn't be on the field today? I said, why can't we be on the field today? Yeah. So that cut off. And then this
we have an email about being in the grass?
Didn't y'all get an email last week?
I don't have no email. I don't. He could possibly have an email, but I'm saying, what the email say? So why we have an email about?
Read your emails, Tiffany. You supposed to have you're the super mayor. Super mayors usually do everything. You always tell them how I. You're the super mayor. You should have read that damn email. And it was a week ago. Now you're harassing, what I'm told, Nina or whoever this is on the other line is an elderly person. She just trying to do her job. And she did her job effective enough to email you a week prior to the event saying, no, we're not going to allow you to tear up our park for the fireworks.
Being in the grass.
Okay, you got an email. Dr. Cunningham sent an email to you, to and to
About?
You got it. You sent it.
I said about? An email about what?
You couldn't be because of the construction work that's going on.
Nina, ain't no construction work going on. We at the site.
You know, Tiffany.
There's no work being done, Nina. I'm all the way on 154. Storage sit on 147.
You know, Tiffany, we have construction work that's going on. We have a contract. You can tell those contractors when to go where and when not to go where.
What work y'all been doing? What work?
So now you saying that they don't have construction work. This is why she's so ignorant. You're so ignorant to the fact. If I got construction work, it doesn't matter if I have it going on Saturday or the holiday. I don't want you messing up my shit. If you got fireworks, you could potentially cause a fire. Have you guys ever participated or organized a fireworks show? Have you ever been under a fireworks? You know that shit go everywhere. So you're arguing with me about points that I'm not going to change my mind. And now you're saying, where's the work going on? It doesn't matter if it's not going on at that specific time where when you're doing your stuff. We just don't want you bothering our stuff or their stuff. Workman's comp. You're have such a business acumen. You should know this. Workman's comp insurance, all kinds of claims that could be initiated if something happens with the construction site. But you don't care. You just care about a party. That's all you care about. And you continue not to turn the music down. Okay, so if this was the park music, go to your car and close the door, Tiffany. Go to your car, turn the air on if it's too hot, and close the door so she won't have to listen to the damn music.
Huh?
You don't see no work?
Ain't no work being done. That's off the line. What work you been doing? Nope, ain't no material here. We on the site now, Nina. That's what I'm telling you. Why you don't come and look yourself?
You know, the teachers, the staff, everybody, they're not even they have to go to the site. Nobody can be on the site.
Nina, it's not making no sense. We're in the grass. We're not at no building. Okay, let's play devil advocate. Say you is doing some work. Number one, we're not nowhere near any work. We're in the grass all the way on 154. So what that got to do with us being in the grass, Nina? Nothing.
Are you in the grass?
No, Nina. Y'all call the sheriffs on us to tell us we can't be in the grass. You know that. And they said that all day about us being in the grass.
You cannot be on the property, Tiffany.
What was that?
You cannot be on the property. According to our insurance, there's something called
Nina. Nina, that's garbage. Come on, man. Okay. We're supposed to be better than that. You know we can't be on no property. I run two big organizations.
Here's what you should have done, Tiffany.
Go ahead.
You should have called me.
Nina, I called called you. I called you with KP.
Why didn't you
We
call
called
me?
you. We asked you. KP called you today. Y'all still was with the bull crap about being on the grass. That was that okay.
You should know
So
how.
why can we stop the fireworks in the
Okay. So if they saying they giving you bull crap about being on the grass, then you should find another venue to be at. Miss Nina just explained to her. Yeah, this is a potential lawsuit, and we're not trying to be a part of it. It goes against their contract. We're not trying to be a part of that. If they was giving you crap, Tiffany, stop all and be all. You should have found another place to hold your event. And since you didn't, you're trying to bully someone and intimidate someone so they could let you have the event when they're telling you no. It has too many risks associated for you to have your event there.
field? That ain't nowhere near your building once again.
I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to argue with you. You need to respect me, call me, and we can work out.
Nina, we did call you to work it out. Me and Keith Price. We called and we asked, and your answer was still no. We asked you, and then today Keith Price again called you to ask you why y'all got the sheriffs out here. Why kids can't play in the grass? Kids, Nina. You know how many kids I wrote? 1,000 some people out here.
You had 10 people out
You ain't
there.
gotta believe me. Watch the videos. I don't gotta lie about numbers now. That's one thing I don't do.
You lying, Tiffany.
My video ain't accurate. You delusional. But okay, I'm gonna pop these fireworks though real quick, y'all. Just calling to let you know. I'm gonna blow the fireworks up over here in y'all tennis court real quick.
And they should have gave her a fine. They should have gave her a fine. You're blatantly disregard for that administration and their rules and regulation, but you want everyone to follow your rules and regulation. This is why Tiffany in the village of Dolton is having very really bad legal problems. Bad legal problems because of the administration choices of how they're handling things. They're not handling things properly. This was in the Chicago Tribune, posted a couple of days ago. It's saying Illinois appellate court affirms the $33.5 million verdict from the fatal Dolton police chase. Court freezes funds in another case. So you know how the village of Dolton goes off to special closed sessions, not privy to the public. Well, in those special closed sessions, sometimes they have to vote or whether or not if they want to settle cases. There was one case they settled on and they should have paid it, and the village of Dolton never paid it. They never paid it, so that's why their funds are froze. Now, shout out to Jedediah Brown because they exposed this prior to this being leaked or to the news reporting. They were Jedediah and his people put on the internet saying, hey, the village of Dolton has $820,000 in their checking account, but 420 of that or $440,000 of that is frozen. It was frozen. Let me just show you. Half of the amount was frozen. They didn't know why it was frozen because we wasn't privy to that information. But coming to find out, it's because they didn't pay. They did not pay. What is this? Oh, this is Articles of Organization. This is the wrong one. They did not pay this settlement where the board already approved the settlement. This is it. This is the account number, checking account. They had $809,000. Payroll is 400 and something thousand a month, maybe every 2 weeks. But the amount withheld was $440,000 is because they wanted to make payment. I'm curious to see what type of insurance that the Village of Dolton has against claims made with lawsuits, like from the EEOC and like I'm pretty sure you have workplace discrimination lawsuits. I think everybody goes through that some type of lawsuit if you're a big enough organization, and also do they have insurance on that? So the Village of Dolton, the actual taxpayers, will not have to foot the bill, but it looks like they have to foot the bill. $440,000 was frozen on their account because of a lawsuit. Now I'm just going to go back to let me make sure you can see this. Yeah, you can see this. I'm just going to go back to this Chicago Tribune article, and it says on this, and it says the decisions was made on these lawsuits against the Village of Dolton are contributing to their financial troubles. The Village of Dolton is on $33.5 million. This was caused by a police chase. Your acting chief, Lacey, was part of it. He was part of that crime. And I believe the same cop that killed, you guys, let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm giving out misinformation, but the same cop that killed young Alexis Wilson was part of this police chase. They caused this problem, $33.5 million. They're causing these problems. This guy, Lacey, shouldn't have never been promoted to chief because he has poor judgment. Why do you think it's okay to go on a crazy police chase in a small town, and you endanger the lives of other people? Not only the suspect, maybe you was pulling them. Oh, was he a suspect in the murder? I don't know. But are you just pulling them over for a traffic stop? This is the problem that we need to eradicate in the police department. And then who has to pay this verdict? The Village of Dolton taxpayers. And it says in the appellate court, I guess they appealed it and they lost. They confirmed the $33.5 million verdict on the behalf of John Cowles, who died following the 2016 police chase in Dolton. And the second man, Dwayne Dunlap, who was left severely injured, in this police chase. So he was left severely injured. And it says attorneys said the chase stemmed from a traffic violation. And the man's car skid through a stop sign. Police chased the vehicle for about a mile until the vehicle crashed into a building. Cowles died while Dunlap was left severe, catastrophic, and permanent injuries, according to the wrongful death lawsuit in November of 2019. The ruling of the appellate court in First Judicial District said attorneys claimed that the police vehicle had a dashboard camera with footage that, despite a court order, the village never produced because they were in the wrong. This is a current thing. Now, I am the supporter of the police department. I do support the police. But when they do wrong, we need to call them out, because the taxpayers should not be held responsible because of their negligence. They should not be held responsible for their negligence. And it should be some type of repercussions that happens to these type of police. Okay. When the jury award was announced in August of 2020, the attorney from Lovey and Lovey said that they believe it was one of the largest police misconduct cases in Illinois history. This is the case that should have been settled. Now listen to this. They had a chance to settle. Who do you think? This is why I wanted to talk about this article. They had a chance to settle this problem. They wouldn't have been out $33 million or $34 million, they had a chance to settle. And it says this case should have been settled. An attorney representing the administrating for Cowles and the Garden Dunlap, they could have settled for a fraction of this. But you know why that bad judgment? Who was in office in 2022? Who was in office? Your girl, Tiffany Henyard. Because she wants to stand behind the police department. And there's nothing wrong. You got to stand behind your police department. But if you know they're in the wrong doing, they never presented that record keeping of that video to prove that they were not in the wrongdoing. Well, if you never produced that record, then you had something to hide. And your girl, Tiffany Henyard, decided not to settle. And it says, despite Dolton's appeal, the village never sought a stay on the payment. It was considered present and due. When attorneys filed the petition on the behalf of the guardian and administrator of the two men in the police chase in January, according to petition. So they never fought for a stay. Like, what kind of crackpot attorneys do you have representing? Can we say Delgado Law Group? Wasn't it Delgado Law Group in 2022? Delgado Law Group got them in the bind. They could have did all these necessary things to curtail the impact of the village of Dolton going in bankruptcy, but they did not. The arrogance of Tiffany Henyard in that administration. The arrogance. And then you decided to promote the very same person that cost the village $33.5 million. This very same person's acting chief, Lacey, the very same person, he didn't even pass his examination. So that's why we got to call him acting chief or interim chief, because he didn't pass the test. It says the petition expressed concerns about the village's ability to pay the judgment due, a breakdown of governance, and insufficient insurance coverage. So that answers my question. They don't have enough insurance to make the coverage. They detail allegations of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's spending woes, such as repeatedly misappropriating funds and refusing to disclose details to the village spending. Plaintiffs have reason to fear that Dolton, if not ordered to take affirmative steps to marshal assets to satisfy the judgment, will continue to fail to pay, and that the Dolton will dissipate and divert assets that might be otherwise be available to satisfy the judgment without granting the mandamus and other relief requesting in this complaint. Plaintiffs have a damn chance of being paid the judgment because there has been a complete breakdown of the village accounting, internal controls, and the checks and balances, endangering plaintiff's judgment. Okay, and it says the Cook County Court also recently froze the $440,000. That's what we just showed you. And that was after June 24th hearing because Dolton failed to pay the whistleblower lawsuit by former Dolton detective David Graham from 2019. Why don't you have insurance to cover? You don't even have insurance to cover a $440,000 lawsuit, or you haven't been paying the insurance. Can we say that? They probably haven't been paying the insurance, so they don't have money to pay the man. Graham's attorney, Patrick Walsh of Griffin, Williams, and McMahon, Walsh said Dolton Village Board agreed to pay just over $220,000 in attorney fees and costs and in a signed check, but it just sitting on the mayor's desk. And Belcher said she believes Henyard may have been chosen not to send a check due to personal agenda and political attacks against Walsh, who said represents people and group in the village who oppose Henyard's administration. The lawsuit was settled on February the 28th and should have been paid within 30 days. Now, this is wild. This is wild. Now, all these judgments that's been ruled against the village of Dolton, they are accruing interest rate. Now, the interest that's been accrued is about $4,000 on this $440,000 lawsuit. It's money that the citizens shouldn't be paying to us. And then the village failing to pay the settlement to the point the court freezes funds is totally unprecedented, he said. I've been suing municipalities for almost 20 years, and he said it's never happened to him. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Now, another article I did read about this whole settlement, and it was in regards to this lawsuit. It was saying that if the village of Dolton don't pay this $33 million, it can essentially accrue $2 million a year in interest. So they better get on a payment plan or something. $2 million a year. So that's just about what I had to speak on the village of Dolton. You guys, let me see some of your chats. I know you guys been putting it up. No permits, no respect. She should have had a permit beforehand, and she probably didn't. And then she should have had a plan B. She's petty. Amari says she sounds ratchet. Yeah, that's an understatement. All eyes on me. I think Tiffany did record this. She probably tried to make that Nina lady look bad, but she actually looked bad because she said you didn't go through the proper channels. You didn't call me. We sent you an email 7 days prior, and we told you what was up, and you still refused. You still decided to bring your craziness to our parking lot, and we said no. We said no. She's taking Jones. She'll be back in court for that on July the 22nd. Okay, that's good to know. No. They cannot vote in an executive session. All votes must be in an open meeting. I'm not for sure about that. I know they do talk about lawsuits during the executive session. Something that's, I guess, not came to light. I'm not for sure about voting, but I know they talk about lawsuits that's coming that people don't know about. I'm just trying to read some of your chats. Dan said Big Tiff can't feed the inmates in Cook County Jail because no funds to money on the free parties and turn y'all backs into the next meeting's residents. This is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing when you have an administration that's just totally disregarding what they should be doing. You're totally disregarding what you should be doing. Okay, so let's talk about Joe Biden. That's all I got to say about that. All I got to say about that, you guys put it in chat. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is given Democrats are giving Joe Biden a bunch of shit because they said he's not fit to run for office. I could concur that. I don't think he's fit to run for office. Joe Biden is not excellent all the time. He's not on the up and up. Some days he has some good days and some days he has some bad days, only because he is getting of age. I believe he's going through dementia. And the days that he does have good days, maybe his medicine kicks in before he has to visit somebody or speak in public. And then other days he looks like he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where he's at. Now, it was just revealed that this lady, Andrea Lawful Sanders, admits that she was fed questions by Biden's team. And she was on CNN when she admitted this. And I'll just, you guys take a look and let me know what you think about this.
Those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Okay.
Okay, so that's sad. I mean, there's nothing more that you could say about that. She was fed questions by Biden's administration, and of course, they're going to practice what you want to say about this question. Now, you're running for president of the United States. A person should be able to question you just off the top of my head. I should be able to ask you a question because you're running for office. But no, Joe Biden and his administration do not want you to do that. Don't want you to do that because they don't want Joe Biden to stutter or stammer. I've read several posts saying that Joe Biden always had a stuttering problem. Well, I have a stuttering problem, Joe Biden, but I'm not facing dementia, so I'm able to, speak articulate and able to convey a message. Sometimes I am, and sometimes you probably like, what the hell are you talking about, Chawanne? But anywho, my point is, just because you stammer or stutter, that doesn't mean you don't know how to convey a message properly. And in that Biden and Trump debate, we noticed that Donald Trump answered questions directly. And then when it went to Joe Biden, or even if Donald Trump didn't answer questions directly, he was rebutting what Joe Biden said, but it was clear and direct. Now, on the hand of Joe Biden, when he answered questions, he started off okay, or maybe he was drifting. Then he just drifted off and left a cliffhanger. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Joe Biden? So this is the problem. So when you're feeding question to a potential candidate, you're going to be the leader of the free world. And we should be able to fire questions upon you, and you should be able to give us an articulate answer to express your point of view of where you stand on that political topic, okay, or on that subject. You shouldn't have to practice that because you've been in the game for 50 damn years, Joe Biden. You should be able to talk to us about policies and whatever you believe in till we fall asleep. We should get bored of you. Like, damn, Joe Biden is up here again preaching to us about Green Deal, economics deal. And he's actually saying something, but we've heard this so many times. We're tired of him talking about it. That's the kind of thing that people are looking for, but we're not able to get that from you. The response is really, really upsetting with Joe Biden. Now the radio host, since she was kind of called out saying this is not good journalism, we're going to have to fire you. So they end up firing her. They said, this is Deadline. They said Philadelphia radio host resigns after revealing Biden team gave her questions to ask. And they're saying that it says using the campaign pre-approved questions Let me make sure you can see that. Pre-approved questions violates our practice of remaining an independent media outlet accountable to our listeners. Do you think they threw her under the bus? You guys put in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Did they throw this lady under the bus? Since she revealed to CNN, it's a bigger news outlet than Word Radio. This is a black radio station. Do you think they threw this lady under the bus? I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to believe that Lawful Sanders said, you know, the crazy thing happened to me. I got a radio show, or I have a scheduled interview. They probably didn't contact her directly. We know that. They probably contact the People Radio, the head of the radio show, and they say, "Oh, Joe Biden wants to interview with, get on the show and talk about the debate or talk about his campaign." And they was like, "Okay, let me give you to the person that you need." The caveat to that, we have 8 questions. We're gonna have to stick with these 8 questions. You guys put in chat, let me know what you think. And they said, okay, you want to interview with, she's our AM morning talk radio host. You want to interview, get in contact with Lawful Sanders, or we're going to set the interview up for Lawful Sanders, since this is the president of the United States. Now come with me, you guys. You guys follow me. You can't just tell me Lawful Sanders reached out to the administration and they said, oh, okay. No, they probably was dodging interviews. They was dodging interviews until Joe Biden's administration, like, hey, we want to, this is one of our key battleground states. Let's shore up some people so we could get the people, support and not second guessing if I'm able to handle the task of being the president. So let's shore it up. So we're going to contact them. This is my assumption. I'm giving Lawful Sanders the benefit of the doubt. She did not set up this interview. And they was like, oh, email her the questions and she will get you scheduled on the show. Or what time is best for you, Mr. President? They said Word Radio is not a mouthpiece for Biden or any other administration. Sure, you're not. Lawful Sanders previously asked Biden 4 questions on Word, the source, after his debate with former President Donald Trump last month. The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them, she told CNN. Biden's campaign spokesperson, Laura Hitz, told New York Times in a statement providing preferred topics is not uncommon, but noted they do not condition interviews on acceptance of these questions. Hosts are always free to ask the questions they think will be best inform their listeners, added Hint. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's radio host Earl Ingram also admitted to ABC that he was given some questions for Biden in their interview, noting he was given 5 questions but was only able to ask 4. To think that I was going to get the opportunity to ask any question to the president of the United States, I think is a bit more than anybody should expect, said Ingram, adding, certainly the fact that they gave me this opportunity mean a lot to me. I don't think it means a lot if you're not able to, if you're a journalist, I will feel some type of way that you're going to tell me I have to stick to these certain questions and I can't fire, especially this is a political fight. I should be able to ask any type of controversial question. My listeners want to know what's your stance on this. And if this is your stance, then I should be able to give you a follow-up question. If this is your stance, why did you do this? Come on now, people. Come on now, people. We got a lot of ones in the chat. A lot of ones in the chat. Yes. Wanda Diaz, Kennard the DJ. She's taken. Theta, Lexi. All these ones in the chat. And I totally agree. I think she was set up. That she was the fall person. She was the fall person. Now, speaking of Joe Biden, Joe Biden, he's putting out fires. And so he decided to send out an email letter to all the Democrats. This is a long ass letter too. This letter is the longest letter I've seen. But this is the letter from Joe Biden to all the Democrats. And he wants to tell all the Democrats, hey, enough with this nonsense, goddammit. I am your chief and commander. I am running for office. And that's that. I'm going to be the nominee, and that is that. And you bet not question me. Now, y'all niggas get in line. I'm tired of y'all right now. And so he wants to let everybody know that he ain't giving up. And he tired of all this nonsense. You know how you talk to your kids. Now I'm tired of y'all. I told y'all once. Did I tell you to clean up that room? Then you catch them doing something else. You come in there with a belt and they start cleaning. They start cleaning the walls and the ceiling. Like, no, you was supposed to be making up your bed and sweeping the floor. They on the walls cleaning, scrubbing the walls. So Joe Biden, he wrote this on July the 8th. I said this is the longest letter ever because this is not 12 font or 10 font. This is 8 font. This is 8 font Times Roman, the smallest font you could find on Word. And he sent this letter, a 2-page letter. He said it, fellow Democrats. Now that you have returned from the 4th of July, let me just share this with you. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Go to screen. I think this is better. Okay. So it says, dear fellow Democrats, now that you have returned from the 4th of July, July the 4th recess, I want you to know that despite all the speculation in the press and elsewhere, I am firmly committed to staying in the race and running this race to the end and beating Donald Trump. Okay. I have had extensive conversations with the leadership of the party, elected officials, ranks, and file members, and most importantly, Democrat voters. Over the past 10 days or so, I have heard the concerns of the people and their good faith fears and worries about what is at stake in the election. I am not blind to them. Believe me, I know better than anyone the responsibility and the burden the nominee of our party carries. I carried it in 2020 when the fate of our nation was at stake. I also know these concerns come from the place of real respect for my lifetime of public service and my record as president. And I have been moved by the expression of affections for me, so many blah, 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 blah. He says, I'm rock steady, steadfast. I can respond to all this by saying clearly and unequivocally, I will be running again if I did not absolutely believe I was the best person to beat Donald Trump in 2024. We had a Democratic nomination process and the voters have spoken clearly and decisively. I've received over 14 million votes. That's 87% of the votes cast across the entire nominating process. I have nearly 3,900 delegates, making me the presumptive nominee of our party by a wide margin. So he's just telling you guys, don't forget, I am the not presumptive. He's really not presumptive if you really think about it, but they can't take it away from him. But he has 3,900 delegates. He's garnered 87% of the votes in the primaries. This was a process open to anyone who wanted to run. Only 3 people who challenged me. One fared so badly that he left the primaries to run as an independent. Another attacked me for being too old and soundly defeated. The voters of the Democratic parties have voted. They have chosen me to be the nominee. So he's basically saying what the problem is. Why y'all got a problem with me? The party have chosen me. And if you got a problem with the party or the residents or the citizens of the country, you take it up with them. But they chose me. And there's nothing you can do about it. Now, didn't I tell y'all to clean up? Do we now just say the process didn't matter? That's what he went. We just want to say, oh, it didn't matter. The voters don't have a say. He sounded like he cussing. You know, Joe Biden didn't write this letter, right? Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was on crack. He probably was like, you know, you need to say this. Yeah. Tell him. He probably snorting or smoking some crack and telling Jill what's right. No, Jill, you need to be gangster with it. My daddy gonna be the nominee. Say, oh, it don't matter. The voters don't matter, huh? So he probably was. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think Jill Biden wrote this letter? Put a 1 in the chat. It's a 2-page letter. I guess the amount of attention that would have to come to write this 2-page letter. I don't see no grammatical errors or anything like that. It's a bunch of dashes, you know, stuff like that. But he's actually talking. The amount of dedication and focus that he had to have to write this letter. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think Jill Biden wrote this letter? Put a 1 in the chat. Jill Biden wrote this letter. And he said, I have no doubt that I and we can and will beat Donald Trump. We have a historic record of success. He claims that he produced 15 million jobs. Yeah, it's easy to claim that you produced 15 million jobs when we was coming out of a pandemic. Yeah, that's easy to claim. From creating 15 million jobs, historic lows of unemployment, revitalizing a manufacturing. No, that's a lie. You're not. Did you include? Are you including this record? He's talking about revitalizing American manufacturing, 800,000 jobs to protect and expand affordable health, rebuilding American roads and bridges, highways, ports and airports, water systems, and beating big pharma, lowering the cost, prescription drugs, including $35 of month insulin for seniors. And I believe Donald Trump combated him. He said he did not do that. That was under his administration. And for nearly 5 million Americans to historic investment of combating climate change. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. 5 million to providing student debt relief for nearly 5 million Americans to historic investment in combating climate change. I don't think it's supposed to have been a comma there somewhere, but I'm not for sure what he's talking about. Maybe student loan debt and then historic investment in combating climate change. That's 2 different things. More importantly, we have an economic vision to run on the soundly beats Trump and the MAGA Republicans. They are siding with the wealthy and big corporations. We are siding with the working people. No, you're not. It wasn't an isolated moment for Trump to stand out in Mar-a-Lago and tell the oil industry they should give him $1 billion and he will do whatever they want. Where did you get that from, Joe Biden? Where did you get that from? He's making stuff up. Then he goes on to talk about Social Security and Medicare, $5 trillion for the tax rich. Social Security and Medicare is not gone away because of Republicans or the Democrats. It's gone away because of the spending of the Republicans and the Democrats in the government. Okay. Spending. Reason why we will not have Medicare and Social Security is because of the spending. Mismanagement of funds. They talk about trickle down economics and getting away about. They're talking about MAGA's getting away about away from the Affordable Care Act. Blah 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 blah. He's saying Donald Trump wants to take away the 2,000 cap of out-of-pocket prescription costs. Democrats just got them. If you can't afford $2,000, who can afford $2,000 for prescription? That's not a good thing. Anyway, that he's saying he's putting that on there like that's a good thing. If you can't afford $100 prescriptions, why do you think you need a cap on 2,000 prescriptions? $2,000 of out-of-pocket expense. That's just really ridiculous. We are the ones lowering costs for families, healthcare, prescription drugs, debt, student debt to housing. Actually, I said it was no grammatical errors. This is written bad, but we are the ones protecting Social Security and Medicare. Everything they're proposing raises costs for Americans, except their cuts will go to the rich. And we know that's not true. We know that's not true. When Trump was in office, everybody saw a big uptick in their tax refunds, even though some of those things were temporary. Rich and non-rich, just working class people saw a big return on their taxes. So that's certain things that they did. Some of it was temporary and some of the stuff was temporary, like the commercial straight line depreciation. You were able to do accelerated depreciation if you had commercial properties. That the working class or people that's investing, not necessarily rich or ultra rich, they were able to take advantage of those things. But he's going to go and he's talking to his Democrat of what they've accomplished. Okay, and it says the question, and this is at the end. My fellow Democrats, we have the record, the vision, and the fundamental commitment to American freedoms of our democracy to win. The question of how to move forward has well aired over the week now, and it's time for it to end. He's giving you a commandment. End it. We have one job. That job is to beat Donald Trump. We have 42 days until the Democratic convention, which is supposed to be in Chicago. Let's see how that fares out. And 119 days to the general election. Any weakening of resolve or lack of clarity about the task ahead only helps Trump and hurts us. It is time to come together and move forward as a unified party and defeat Donald Trump. This is from your president of the United States of America. He's tired of y'all shit. Now get it together. Wanda said 81 million votes my ass. Streamlabs said please refrain of Any cuss words? What? Okay, I could make some adjustments too. I don't mind you guys cussing. Just don't do the F by ass is not a problem for me. Biden lies. Trump lowered the cost of insulin. They blame us for what they are doing. Exactly. I just mentioned that. Biden, actually, Donald Trump called him out on that during his debate. But it seemed like not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden during the debate, he was kind of confused on stuff he actually did and stuff that was already initiated before he got into office. That was like, no, you didn't do that. That was already in place. You're just, continuing the process. Anyway, Wanda Diaz as Streamlabs said, okay, so I can make some changes. I got it on some stringent. I just wanted to try out stringent versus stringent restrictions versus like lack restrictions. So I'll cut it down in the system. Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys joining in. You got to remember, Chawanne, this is a Black person, most like a liberal. So, of course, it meant more to her to get the interview than to honor her profession of being a journalist. Yeah. You interviewing the president of the United States. So you're gonna, I guess, hey, I never interviewed the president of the United States. So, yeah, you could send me in questions. You could send me in questions, just like that other guy. He said, yeah, we interviewed the president and they sent in 5 questions and I only got a chance to answer 4. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. Tomorrow, more likely, we'll be talking about something that's happening in the news. My unpopular opinion channel, Chawanne Burns 2.0. Right now, I'm in talks with a producer and another co-host. So I'm excited, you guys. Hopefully, we'll be doing some really great things on that channel. And let me just share it with you because I really want you guys to tune into that channel. And I'm trying to find a producer / co-host, someone that's maybe doesn't have the same views as I do. Not really real on a major extreme type of, no, this is not it, 2.0. Not someone like crazy extreme, but just that thinks a little bit different than I do. So we can have like almost not like a debate, but you don't have to hear like a tunnel. What is it called? Echo chamber. Yeah. So yeah, this Chawanne Burns 2.0 unpopular opinion. So yeah, right now I'm in talks with a producer, and hopefully I'll get a good co-host for it, and we'll be discussing more things about that in the near future. Okay, so I really appreciate every single last one of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll be talking about something. I'm sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.